Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about one of the number one things that wrecks crypto holders, and that's the difference between price and market cap and kind of understanding the nuance between the two and not really ever relying on price as like an objective measure of anything. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today because this is something that particularly new people, but honestly the more I talk to people in crypto generally, this is kind of a nuance that very few people know other than like some of the more advanced people within the crypto space. So I want to talk to you about it today because I do think if you understand this and you can really understand this at a high level, then this will save you a ton of money and honestly really help your investing and your identifying of good projects, all of that type of stuff. So anyway, let's go on ahead and dive right in. So starting out, there's two things that I really want to go over today. First one is the very key difference between prices and how not all prices are created equal. And the second one is going into market cap more generally, right? So starting out, I want to talk about prices because if you look at something and what something is $10 and the other thing is $1, does that mean that the $10 thing is 10 times more expensive? Yes, from like if you want to buy one of them, right? But if you're wanting to buy the same percentage of both of them, that's almost completely arbitrary and has no weight on how much you're actually buying. And so Dogecoin and Shiba Inu are two like really fantastic examples of this. The reason I use Dogecoin and Shiba Inu is for two reasons. One, they're meme coins. They're also, I would say, fairly ubiquitous in terms of like the meme coin market. I think Shiba Inu and Dogecoin are probably the two most well-known coins that there are. They both started doing and they both did do very well last cycle. And so I think there's a lot of people who know about them and what they are. But also you can see Dogecoin here is at 42 cents and Shiba Inu is 0.00002587, right? So very different in terms of price. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to get into kind of something that I've seen before, and these types of things really annoy me because there's one of two things when we see something like this, and it's a YouTube video of like, is Shiba gonna go to $1, right? And usually when I see a video like this, it's one of two things. This person either lacks a fundamental understanding of exactly what we're going to be talking about today, or two, it's just clickbait and they're like kind of maliciously trying to like potentially indicate that Shiba Inu may be a better buy than Dogecoin. And while that could be true, it's not at all for the reason that they're insinuating. And so that's kind of why I want to talk about this today. We're going to start with Dogecoin and we're going to kind of look at, let's say, getting these to $1, right? Because as I said, I'll see things now and again like, can Shiba get to $1? And it's like, okay, well, come on now. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to look into it starting with Doge. And so you can see here, I actually brought out the calculator to do a lot of this. I don't actually know what happened with this one. But if we look at the history here, we're going to see a couple of things. So the first one is, if we want Doge to hit $1, essentially, like how many X's do we need to pull, right? And so from 42 cents, we need basically a 2.38X to get to $1. Now, the important part here is that we're looking at market cap, because market cap is essentially kind of like the thing that equates everything the same. Because the only difference here in price is the circulating supply. The more circulating supply you have, the lower your price is going to be. The less circulating supply you have, the higher your price is going to be. You can see, I mean, Bitcoin's almost 100,000. Well, they only have a circulating supply of 21 million. Dogecoin currently has a circulating supply of 146, almost 147 billion, right? So obviously like a ton more coins in circulation. So the price is obviously going to be lower. But even still, if you were to compare Bitcoin's market cap to Dogecoin's market cap, we would still see that Bitcoin is a much higher market cap. So Bitcoin is still the larger coin, obviously, but it's not maybe as dramatic as the price difference might show. So looking down here in the history, we can see, we need the 2.38x. Now we need, or with the 2.3x times the current market cap of 61 billion, in order for Dogecoin to hit $1, we would need to see it hit $147 billion. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, well, for Shiba, it's the same type of thing. We can see Shiba is 0.00002588 and the market cap is of 15 billion. So it is still smaller than Doge, but it's only about a quarter of the size, not what the calculator is about to indicate. So for Shiba to hit $1, it would need a 38,714x to hit $1. Now, for those of you who are wondering what the market cap might look like on that, that's a $588 trillion market cap. So about 350 times bigger than what Bitcoin's market cap is currently. This is actually larger than the estimated entire real estate market cap. So as you can imagine, SHIBA hitting $1, never going to happen. And I feel pretty comfortable saying that. Obviously, you know, speaking in absolutes is a recipe for disaster usually, but I feel pretty confident in saying that the SHIBA is never going to hit $1. Obviously, there are some burn mechanisms, and I know this is like the thing that, like, you know, really heavy like SHIBA holders like, oh, what, there's this deflationary mechanism and it's going to deflate down to 100,000 and then it's going to be $10,000 per SHIB. And yeah, maybe, right? But like generally, from like an economics point of view, deflation doesn't necessarily really work that way, because when there's a deflationary token, nobody wants to spend it because you actually are losing purchasing power by spending it rather than just holding on to it. So it really like disincentivizes actually like using the thing that you're supposed to be using. And so deflationary like ecosystems and tokenomics and all this type of stuff, this is not the point of the video, but this is also just another fun fact. Like usually when I see deflationary mechanisms within a token, sometimes I'll get in anyway because I know that there's a lot of people who don't really understand what that means, but I don't get into it actually expecting the deflationary mechanism to work. I get in expecting other people thinking it's going to actually work, and then, you know, when the price pumps or whatever, then I'll go from there. But ultimately, as we can see here, the prices between Doge and SHIB are not at all comparable. So, you know, Doge hitting $1 and SHIB hitting $1 are not at all the same feats. And so this is why it's important to understand the variance between market cap and price, because as we can see here, price is very, very arbitrary. You know, a 4x on SHIB gets us to Doge's market cap, but price for Doge would still be 42 cents, and price on SHIB would be 0.0001-ish at that point in time. So obviously, you know, very, very, very different in terms of price. And so always make sure you're looking at the market cap when you're looking essentially for something to buy, and you're not looking at the price. Because if you are using this fallacious assumption of, oh, well, if SHIB just does what Doge does, then I'm going to make $1 bajillion. Well, yeah, of course, like everybody would make $1 bajillion if they did that, but this is not going to happen. Look at the market cap. So that's a really important thing to know. That's kind of the first nuance of like price versus price. Now, the second nuance that I want to talk about here is market cap versus fully diluted market cap. Because first off, we've talked about, okay, we'll look at the price, right? Well, now we need to also be looking at, because not all prices are created equal. Well, not all market caps are created equal either. What we can see here on Sui obviously has done very, very well over the past year or so. We can see it's absolutely massive run over the past couple of months particularly. And what we can see is the market cap is sitting at just under $10 billion. So in this case, if we're comparing it, I know these aren't really great comparisons because they're in totally different spaces, but we could see that SHIB, in terms of market cap, again, regardless of price, we can see SHIB is about 50% higher than Sui, again, in terms of market cap. However, if we look at SHIB, we can see that it is basically fully diluted. The difference between market, like the fully diluted and non-fully diluted, is like $7 million or something like that. So it's basically fully diluted. However, if we look at Sui, we can see the Sui's fully diluted market cap is actually double what SHIB is currently. And so what this means is a couple of things. First off, there's a lot of tokens that have not been unlocked. And so generally that means that as these tokens get unlocked, there's going to be a ton of selling pressure. What it also means is that there's going to be a natural downward force on price because of this whole market cap versus price mechanism, right? Like market cap really, or price really doesn't matter, market cap matters, right? And so if this gets fully diluted and now everything's all fully out there, we could essentially, right now it's only less than a $10 million market cap, but if we fully dilute everything, we're now at a $40 billion market cap. And if the fair market value really is only about $10 million, well, then we're going to be sitting at around $1, not $3.45. So essentially, we could almost take this as almost like a 67% essentially selling pressure built into this price that we are seeing here. Now, I've got another example to show you, showing essentially how this works over time. So here we can see Avalanche. Avalanche obviously doing all right. They're sitting at an $18 billion market cap. Again, fully diluted, almost 20. So not terrible. I mean, not as dramatic as Sui is, but there is still some dilution to happen here on Avalanche. But what we can see is we're actually going to look at last cycle, because last cycle is where we can see this very, very clearly. So first off, if we're looking at price, and price doesn't matter, but this is going to prove to you that price doesn't matter, because what we can see here is price at its all-time high was somewhere around $134. Now we have and this was on November 22nd. Now we have a secondary high about a month later on December 21st of $123. Now if we look at market cap over the same period of time, we can tell that the market cap on November 22nd hit $30 billion. The market cap also on December 21st also hit $30 billion. So they basically hit almost identical all-time highs at that point in time, less than a month apart. Only difference, the price was about $11 different from top to top. So this is kind of what we mean here by there's this built-in selling pressure. And we can even see right now, price is at $18 billion. Well, for us to return to previous market cap all-time highs, we would need to see about a 50% gain from here, right? Well, if we see a 50% gain from here, that gets us to about $67. Not even close, actually half or less than half, I guess a little bit, about half of the first all-time high that we saw of $135. So if we want to return to the previous high of $135, we actually don't need to hit the same market caps that we hit before. We actually need to hit double that. We need to be looking at close to $60 billion to see this happen. So hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions or concerns about kind of some of the finer like nuances of this type of thing, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. In my opinion, this is incredibly important. So if you do, like, please just let me know. Like I'll try and answer any questions that you have. But hopefully you can see how this is pretty important, and it's pretty clear to see, hopefully, with the couple of examples that I provided, why one, price doesn't really matter when we're talking price to price, but also when we're talking about market cap, because market cap's what really matters. You need to be looking at both types of market caps, both the current market cap as well as fully diluted, because the fully diluted market cap also is something that really, really plays a major part in current price. So like I said, hopefully the information in this video was useful. If it was, please do give me a like and subscribe, because it really does help me out. Also, if you want to stay tuned for more content, things like that, I do talk about generally more like crypto type news, but I do try to throw in like kind of informational and helpful bits about investing and learning about the crypto market into my video. So like I said, like and subscribe would be a great way to both support me as well as follow for more content. And then if you have any comments, questions, concerns, like I said, comment section would be a great place to do that. I do try to read and respond to all of them. So if you have anything you want me to see, that'd be a great way to do it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.